Welcome into Hand Raised Guys. I'm Neal McCready. That's Chase Parham. You probably recognize us by now. This is brought to you by Comer Heating and Air and Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Here on this Thursday night, it'll be the Friday morning Oxford Exxon podcast. Comer and Southern. You might notice it's awfully cold outside. It's going to get warmer later because that's just how things work. We'll make sure your system is in tip-top shape. You can call Comer. You can call Southern. It kind of depends on where you are, but you get the same great products, the same great services, same people. If you're in the Oxford, Tupelo area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you're in DeSoto County, Memphis, Hernando, that area, call the people at Southern, 662-429-4429. We are in the Clark Ford Studios, Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for our buddy Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. Get your quote, and then the rest is completely up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that is hop into a Clark Ford today. You see the number up above for the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. We'll take some calls a little later. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford. Be a great place if you're coming in this weekend for Ole Miss, Mississippi State basketball, whatever the case may be. Hop over to Rafters. Grab a burger, a po' boy, appetizers, great beer selection, full bar. If you're in New Albany, stop at Rafters there as well. I hear rave reviews. Lots of people stopping in New Albany to check it out there at Rafters. So Rafters Music and Food in Oxford and New Albany. And Chase, what's going on at the Oxford Exxon?
We would love to give you $10. We can do that by just when you head to the pump, take a picture of the QR code. It will do it automatically, or you can just download the Exxon mobile app. And when you take advantage of that, $10 right there off the pump on the gas you're doing at the time. Don't have to wait to the next time. Don't have to fill out any surveys. $10, 1,000 points there with the Exxon mobile app and all Blue Sky locations in Mississippi, including here with the Oxford Exxon. You're heading to town tomorrow. Well, maybe a lunch special, $5.69, 2 sides, bread, 32-ounce drink there for that. So, Drew, I talked about this for a minute yesterday. I am at Endgame, so I'm 23 movies down, 21 movies down. I don't know, something like that. How many
are there?
Like 28. I don't know.
Are you enjoying them, or is this labor?
No. I'm enjoying them. I was kind of trying to get here, so this next one is sort of like the main event, the climax. So we're
the one that's out now.
No. That's Spider-Man. We hadn't gotten there yet. We still got a few more to go, but it's like the big thing we've been building toward for 20 however movies. So have a few more in Phase 4. Then I think we're gonna do couple TV shows associated, and then after that we'll see where it goes. So that's kind of where it is.
All right, well, tell the people the latest on Caleb Williams.
Sorry. Yeah, you can check rebelgrove.com. Been a lot of discussion over there about Star Caleb today.
A few threads,
few posts in the threads, something like that. So yeah, it's been a deal. Look, they are in it. They are absolutely in it. I will say a little. I will say this.
Yeah.
When I was told this yesterday,
the people are hanging on everywhere.
When I was told this yesterday, I discounted it.
You called me.
I did, and I was like, I actually, my words were, I'm not writing that right now. I refuse. I know what I was told. The sourcing was fantastic, and I'm not writing that right now.
And I told you that there was no way I was touching it.
Yeah, so we just sat there.
I think I hung up on you.
Yeah, and it was wrong. Again, I'm not predicting they're getting him. I'm not saying any of that, but there's no doubt that they are in it. So that is true. We'll see. Georgia, keep hearing some LSU. Heard some Miami today that is legitimate, but
so
it appears to be more Miami than Caleb at the moment, at least.
And I think it's more LSU and Miami than it is Georgia.
Okay.
I get the impression that Georgia's a little sticker shocked.
Well, there's a sentence we hadn't said very often.
not wanting to go down that road necessarily. Because once you go down this road, there's no turning back from an NIL standpoint. You get into this perception reality thing, Chase, that we've talked about before, where a person's perception is that's what he's worth. And even if that's not really reality, that's his reality. And I think Georgia, given the air that they try to recruit in, they're a little worried about it. If you go all the way down that road and then you try to recruit a roster of 85 people of that caliber, before you know it, you got the Yankees payroll on your hands.
Yeah, luxury tax has come into effect.
Yeah, and so I think you got to be careful. All right, 2 different people asking.
Sure, I saw it. Go ahead.
Does this impact Ole Miss with Arch?
Not on its face, as far as Arch would rule out a school that Caleb Williams is in.
Look, I don't want to be Debbie Downer here, but if you're Ole Miss right now and you're counting on Arch Manning, you're out of your mind. Being honest. I mean, you're not first right now. You're probably not second, and you might not be third.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, this guy's not in our network, but Clark says
you got to move past that.
Clark Johnson, the thread, said Rusty over at UGA site says Georgia's not interested. Rusty Manziel is very tied in at Georgia, so I'll take his word for it. That either means they can't get him or they are not interested, but either way, I'll rule Georgia out if that's what Rusty is saying.
Well, what I said a minute ago wasn't I wasn't making it up.
Yeah.
You know, in many ways for Ole Miss, for Lane Kiffin, getting Caleb Williams takes the onus off Arch Manning. Or off getting Arch Manning. Is anybody really going to lose their minds if Caleb Williams is coming to town and you don't get Arch Manning in April or May or whenever?
It takes away the sting.
I mean, it does. I mean, you know, takes the venom out of the bite.
Still going to hurt.
Frankly, takes the fangs out of the bite.
Oh,
Just kind of getting bit, but not by fangs.
Really? You think it does that much?
If you watch Williams play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does.
I guess my only argument to that is Arch would only be a sophomore when Williams is gone.
I get it. In today's college football, it's very obvious that planning 4 years down the road is only a handful of programs can really do it. And Ole Miss isn't in that group yet. I don't like Ole Miss's chances for Manning.
Well, yeah.
To the point where if you told me the football gods came down today, and I'll ask you the same question too. Football gods came down today and said Ole Miss is getting Caleb Williams or Arch Manning.
Guaranteed one?
Guaranteed one or the other. I know the answer. You have to get it right. Here's the gun.
It's Caleb, and I feel pretty okay about it.
I do too. Without a moment's hesitation, I say, oh, they got Caleb.
Yeah. If it's one or the other, they're in better shape today for Caleb Williams than they are Arch Manning.
That's what I think. To the point, on the flip side, where if you told me, and I don't know this, I haven't heard this, but if you told me that Georgia feels like they're in great shape for Arch Manning and don't want to screw it up by adding a Caleb Williams, I'd buy it. Because I think they're the leader in the clubhouse right now. I think Georgia has a significant lead.
That's what it feels like. Yeah. It's different. I mean, you and I discussed this earlier today. I don't know if we're saving it. We don't want anything else necessarily at the moment to talk about. Caleb Williams, a lot of guys, Ole Miss is jumping into the portal. They're worried about the NFL. They're worried about NIL deals. They're worried about kind of getting theirs on all levels is what a portal guy is worried about, and that is vastly different than recruiting high school players. Some of the reason why we thought that Lane would excel with portal guys better than high school players.
Yeah.
Because the high school kids bring about a pomp and a circumstance, and a deal where they have the parents, and maybe they're even the first people to go to college in their families. Or there's tons of pride and emotion and about the whole experience.
And it's new and it's fresh.
It's the confetti and the marching band and the school and the tour and the whole deal and hey, coach is coming and we're going to put the good clothes on and we're going to eat the casserole. And
I mean, I've heard this at least. It's going to prom for the first time. It's a big deal, right? Everybody comes and takes pictures and it's all new.
It's all good. I mean, it is the carnival has come to town, and then the portal.
And the portal, dude's been through it. He's been through a fall camp. He's been through an all-season
It's
program.
that meme where they show like Bradley Cooper going into the first of The Hangover and then coming out after the end. Like he's seen some shit. Like been through it a little bit. Like it's
he knows how the sausage is made.
Yeah, he's been in the locker room.
And so now he's just this is a business.
Yeah, the coach coming in and going, "Hey, let's that meatloaf." No, I don't give a damn. The hell with the meatloaf.
You want to see our facilities? Not really. I mean, it's cool.
You got some barbells and stuff. Okay, yeah, it's fine. All right,
we're gonna lift. We're gonna lift at 6, aren't we?
You guys all lift at 6.
You want to hear about our tradition? Not really. No. I mean, you can tell me. You mind if I put my earpods in?
Yeah.
Because no. I mean, it's a different deal. And so the portal guys are, what can you do to enhance my chances to go to the league? And so from Caleb Williams' standpoint, and again, I'm not making this up. What does attract him to Ole Miss is 2 years ago, Matt Corral was sitting on the bench. He was.
Yeah.
He'd lost his confidence. He was about to jump in the portal.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks. 2 years later, Matt
And he wouldn't give a damn about the weight room at Oregon.
No. I need to get on the field.
Yeah.
I need to get in a system that's going to operate where I can learn and I can play better. 2 years later, Matt Corral's a first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams is right now, you saw what I posted, I'm sure. If you haven't, it's at rebelgrove.com. It's really cheap. I was listening to the first part of a podcast today. Joe Rogan was interviewing Oliver Stone about his JFK documentary through the lens.
Yeah.
It's on Showtime. I haven't seen it yet. Anyway, our prices are the same as they were in the Kennedy administration. I mean, it's literally it never goes up. So it's all there.
We're cheaper than like every other streaming service and everything. Like, it's. Go ahead.
So it's all there. What was I saying? I may interrupted myself.
They've read about Caleb Williams by now, so Caleb Williams.
There's a lot about Caleb Williams, and you should read about it. I mean, I think he's a top 5 pick projected right now, and I think he wants to solidify that status and go a little further. And I think one of the things he likes about Ole Miss specifically is what happened with Matt Corral in 2 years. Because Caleb Williams has 2 years.
He does. He's guaranteed 2 years.
He's not playing a redshirt senior year. He's playing 2 years and going pro. And when you talk to people at Oklahoma and they tell you that he's just a notch below Kyler Murray, that's pretty rarefied air. Because Kyler Murray's pretty damn good.
What?
I'm just reading the board for a second. There's a lot of when Arch's name comes up, lots of questions pop up. I may be underestimating the reaction to Arch.
Yeah. Yeah, the fangs are not in the mouth. Yeah, no, but
this is the difference.
It might have taken the toxicity away.
This is the difference in having your heart in it and not having your heart in it, I suspect.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll go back to something I've said about Arch for a while now, and I've talked to somebody who absolutely would know, who said that if Nick Saban were he doesn't think Arch Manning's going to Alabama, but he said if Nick Saban were 10 years younger, this would be over.
And I buy that completely.
I do too. That Arch Manning would be committed to Alabama. And if you say what program most resembles Alabama, it's pretty easy.
They're really big on stability, to the point that I think stability is what will prevent Texas from being deeply in it at the end of the day.
To process, to machinery, to formula, to organization. Alabama offers that. That's one of its strengths. But Arch Manning's freshman year, Nick Saban will turn 72 that Halloween.
Yeah.
And if you look at the pictures there was the anniversary of Nick Saban getting the Alabama job was just the other day, and you see the age.
Oh yeah, sure. He looked young.
And so, I don't think he's going there, and I think it's because of Saban's age. But if you want to go to a program that most closely resembles Alabama, it's Georgia.
Yeah, not to change the subject, but Grind, Auburn downgraded, right? I'd rather have Bo Nix than Calzada. Right?
Are we going to really pour the salt in?
I'm just asking. Is it better or worse?
Grind is sitting there right now. He's got an open wound.
And I grabbed the Mortons,
and he's hurting. And you just went and got that coarse sea salt, and you're just like jamming it in.
The Himalayan stuff.
And then and then you're pouring alcohol on it going, how's that feel? You like that? Come on. Grind's a nice guy. He's never done anything.
I'm just curious.
I know, but you're just abusing him right now.
He might love Zach Calzada. I don't know. He might go, who's Caleb Williams? Zach Calzada.
I'm going to guess that Grind's football IQ is better than that.
I don't know.
He's hurting right now, and I don't want to. Grind's my friend. I resent you trying to hurt my friend.
That's true. He said up there Auburn had a 55% chance of getting Caleb Williams.
Well,
I mean, nothing else is going to shock me in college football this year.
He says Auburn does?
Yeah.
Still?
I think he was joking.
Yeah. I mean,
that's your point. Auburn does have a quarterback.
I mean,
he's got a good arm.
He's a rocket for an arm.
He's got a good arm. That's all I got.
And he's got a ton of confidence in himself. From talking to A&M,
every throw, he loves it.
I talked to A&M people more than I wanted to this week, and Calzada's name would come up a couple times, and they all say the same thing. It's amazing how
he's the shooting guard that's never missed.
It's amazing how on message Texas A&M people are. It's like they get morning talking points, and by God, they stick to them.
Mike and Mike was on this morning on the A&M version, and this is what they said, and this is what we're taking all day.
Haynes King is awesome. Once he gets back, rock and roll. Calzada, he just couldn't do it. That Alabama game, it just didn't really happen.
Patrick, that's when's the last time Ole Miss had a 5-star running back? Have they? And I'm really kind of being serious. I think you'd have to go to they've had a JUCO, but as far as a
kid who was a high school
kid,
5-star.
I don't know that they ever have.
What was
in the Rivals era?
What was Enrique Davis?
He was a 4, but he was out of Hargrave, so he was in that prep school ranking thing. Ronald McClendon was a 5-star JUCO.
We don't even rank JUCOs anymore, do we? I mean, we shouldn't.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Deuce wasn't. Oh, was it Elia 5?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I thought he was a
Not
4.
in
I thought he was a
Rivals.
high 4.
He was a 4 in Rivals.
Yeah. Is the Widow Jane 13 pretty good, JM? They're good. I haven't had the 13 yet. Enrique was a 5. Yeah, but I'm not counting prep school kids.
You're talking about kids when they
just a high
when
school
they came out of high school,
player.
a 5-star. I don't remember one.
Probably never. Yeah, probably not.
All right, you want to talk about Zach Evans, the significance of his commitment? I mean, we've been talking about this for weeks. So I think today when it happened, I was like, I just got to make sure I hit the right button.
And you still didn't edit some of it correctly.
I didn't.
They played the Sugar Bowl last night.
I know I was called out on it. I fixed it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's significant. He's a great player.
As long as he's eligible, he's a hell of a player. And my gut is he gets eligible.
Yeah, somehow, some way.
It's 2022. They get things done these days. You mean, in all seriousness, I mean, how often you should retrograde that, right?
What's that?
Ginger says, how many points was Evans worth out of high school? I wonder if that would put us in the rankings if we could count him. That's fair. I think he gets eligible. I mean, how often really in 2022 do kids not get eligible when it comes down to it? I mean, that used to be a huge thing. I mean, we get into June and July and August and go, oh, God, is he going to make it? And now it's just not even a factor unless, like, some kid is so far gone that it's not even a possibility. But Zach Evans just needs hours. He doesn't need grades. He just needs classes. Just needs numbers put next to a. I mean, I feel pretty good about Zach Evans getting eligible.
Yeah, I'd bet on it. Yeah,
I don't know where he's taking the classes. I don't know what it looks like, but I bet he gets eligible.
University of Phoenix, maybe.
Oh, I mean, whatever the college version is. What was it? Waynesboro back in the day.
Yeah.
Everybody took an ACT at Waynesboro.
Is it Eastern New Hampshire? Is that the one that everybody goes to now?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Is it New Hampshire?
I think it's something New Hampshire. It's like Central New Hampshire or something like that. You can go get your degree.
Can you get a grad degree too?
I don't know. Probably.
Bachelor's?
Probably. Is it Arizona State that has a big online presence now? Like big time? I think so.
The way I've been told is he needs, like every year when you get done, you've got to be a certain period toward graduation, like a certain time toward graduation. And whatever his hours are not at the point of finishing his second year of school that he is on pace to graduate. And that is what is necessary.
Southern New Hampshire.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
My apologies to the people at Eastern New Hampshire.
Yeah, so I don't even know if it's overall hours, but it's hours toward graduation is what he lacks. Apparently, he didn't do much this fall, and that has dropped him below the criteria.
That's my 12 hours behind.
This fall.
Yes.
Basically. Yeah, he could help all of our sanity right now had he just finished class in the fall and then jumped in the portal.
Sure.
We wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
You don't think this will be in my mailbag every week, do you? Hey, what's the latest on?
Yeah, I mean, what do you want to do? You
mean,
go like audit his classes? Like, what do we?
I mean, I'll wait for his next Instagram live.
That'd be a bold move. Reporter audit the kids' classes to try to see if he's there every day.
Or if I got on his Instagram live, how's school going?
You could. You might even get a response.
I doubt it.
Does he answer questions?
Doesn't seem to.
Ever?
Kind of a free spirit.
Is it going to calm down now that he's actually committed somewhere where he's not having nothing but recruitniks filling up his Instagram stream?
You know, from looking at the stream, it doesn't appear there were a lot of recruitniks. I mean, I felt very out of place the other day.
Oh, you were...
Even virtually, I felt very out of place.
Did you really?
I felt uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't think he can take the classes here.
No, he can't.
Yeah, he has to take them somewhere else.
Yes, that's true.
Anywhere else.
Anywhere else. And it can't be on scholarship, though. It has to be...
Correct.
It has to be as just a regular student with no financial aid.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he could get Pell Grant stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Dion needs 6. It could be 9, but I think it's 6 hours.
6 intercession hours?
I think that's right.
That's a lot.
It's 2 classes.
In an intercession, that's a lot.
2 classes.
Yeah,
all good.
That's true.
It's doable is the point.
I could just start off by asking him about wolves and stuff. I could.
Like why he likes wolves and not foxes?
Zach, what is it about wolves you like? Do you cheer for the Timber Wolves?
Probably not.
Did you think about schools that were the Red Wolves so that you could be a wolf? Maybe that would get him going talking about wolves. Did you ever watch Dancing with Wolves?
Timberwolves is what the team was in the program, right? Weren't they ESU Timberwolves?
Oh, we got to fight. Minnesota and Boston. Oh, yeah. One guy's
it's
lost
wild
his helmet.
out there.
They're going to break it up. But
it's
he's still trying to hit him. Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
He won.
Yeah, the Bruin guy won for sure.
Hey, you stop now.
Yeah, they're trying to stop him.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he won.
Yeah.
The Boston guy definitely won.
We're watching the Minnesota Wild and the Boston Bruins. That was intense. Let's see what happened.
Oh, we tripped him.
Oh, he kind of took. One guy.
Okay, yeah.
The guy for the Wild has a reason to be pissed off because one guy's tripping him and the other guy knocks him into the board.
They kind of like high load him from a
They
football.
absolutely high load him. Yeah, he was pissed.
He had a right to be mad.
Yeah, for sure.
And then he got beat up.
He did get beat up, but he lost his helmet, and the other guy had his helmet, and so he was trying to kind of get away from that situation, and then he lost his leverage.
It was a problem.
Yeah.
Floor and ceiling for Ole Miss next year with Williams and Evans on the field.
We're going there already.
I've been asked like 7 times. Okay, I mean,
I mean,
yeah. Can we throw look? just the 48 caveats that are needed right now. I'm placing them all in a row right now. Okay. I'm not actually saying them. I'm just going.
I mean, this is with Caleb Williams under center.
They'll probably be more in shotgun, but yeah.
But, I mean, at quarterback.
That is correct, yes.
Yeah. I mean, the ceiling's probably 10-2. The floor's probably.
The cop out here is I kind of need more answers. I need to know what Chance Campbell's doing.
Yeah.
I
mean, do you land a defensive lineman who can replace Sam Williams? What's your receiving group look like?
Are you getting Deion Smith?
What's your offensive line look like?
Are you getting a player that I can't name?
Oh, yeah.
That would help.
And your floor, probably 7-5 at that point. It's probably your floor.
If everything just went to hell in a handbasket.
Well, you can lose games. It's the SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, the trip to College Station, the trip to Baton Rouge, the trip to Fayetteville, those aren't freebies. Alabama coming to town.
Not guaranteed to win.
I mean, Nick Saban's not going to look over there and see Caleb Williams and go, oh, God, we have no chance. I mean, that's just not kind of how he's wired. So, I mean, those are losable football games. Kentucky's good. Auburn's Auburn. Ole Miss doesn't. I mean, I was telling somebody the other day, I think I've covered 20 Auburn-Ole Miss games. Auburn's won the majority of those games. So I
think they've won 18.
So I'm not going to.
Maybe 17.
I'm not just going to hand Ole Miss a win over Auburn. Why? Based on what? And now they got Calzada. I mean, shit. Look out.
Look at me doing it. Okay.
I mean, got a hell of an arm. Who knows? Maybe they protect him and he starts slinging it. Got a chip on his shoulder now. But Zach Calzada gets up for the Texas A&M Auburn game next year. Bet he's sky high. I'm supposed to talk to Chance sometime later this week. I will ask him about his decision. I don't know. I get the sense that he doesn't know.
You don't think he knows yet?
I don't think so, but I have too much respect for him to badger him about it. I mean, I really like him, so I'm not going to harass him. I'll ask him when I get him on the show, and I'll get an answer, one way or the other. I'll take him at his word. What's the deadline for declaring for the draft?
I don't know.
I don't either. All right. You know what? Let's open up the phone calls because I think both you and I are kind of mentally fried. We've had a lot of conversations the last few days. I think we're tired of talking to each other.
The baseball team is ranked 10th in the preseason by perfect game. Give me your no.
We're going to do a G-Pit soon. This week was my fault. Monday was weird.
Yeah, Chris Partridge is at least in talks to be the defensive coordinator at Ole Miss.
He's going to be the defensive coordinator.
I feel confident about that. Wouldn't be stunned to see them move Joyner to linebacker and Watson be defensive line coach. But one thing takes the next to get there.
Yeah.
But that would not shock me at all.
No. It might even shock me if it didn't happen.
Oh, that? All the way through?
Mm-hmm. All right, so the phone lines are open, 662-259-0991. Someone tried to call a little while ago, but here we go. Hey, who do we have?
This is Drew in Madison. How are y'all doing?
Hey, Drew, what's up?
Oh, nothing much. I got the Coco, I think, the Rona.
Oh, gosh.
Just laying low. You may want to put a mask on. I know it can travel through the phone.
Ooh. Well, I'm going to cover up while you're...
Anyway, have y'all heard any rumors about Kevin to the NFL at all?
I'm glad to have a mask on.
Yeah. Sorry to add drama. I heard something today, and
I've heard one specific rumor. I'm waiting to see what happens.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. I'd imagine we've heard the same thing then. Okay, well, I just don't even know what to think about that. As far as Arch to Georgia, I don't know. I know that nobody owes their kids to the program, but I also get a little bit out of shape when Archie and them have so much say in things all the time, and then I don't know. It just, but at the same time, Arch isn't a surefire thing. Caleb Williams definitely appears to be. So I don't know. What do you? I would rather have Caleb Williams. He's a surefire thing. What do y'all think?
He's the surefire thing, and yes, you're right. Nobody owes their child to a program or their alma mater or none of that. I'm pretty firm on that. I can't even go another direction on it. To me, if he doesn't want to go to Ole Miss, then he shouldn't go to Ole Miss. And so, and anybody who, this is just my opinion, and I'm not an Ole Miss person, so I'm not really as qualified to say this as other people. Anybody that has done as much as that family has for Ole Miss, I think any deep, real grudge over one member of the family not going there is unfair. But that's just my opinion, and I'm not emotionally attached to it, and people who are probably differ, and I will defer to them.
No, I tend to agree with you. They've done a lot for the program. It hurts at the same time. But my last thing, I'll leave you with it. Just comparing 2015 or even early Freeze years, 2012 going into the Laquan and Kimdichie class, just the momentum. Has college football changed that much in that short of time to where it's a totally different animal? Is just how I see it, and it's just crazy. Do you feel like Ole Miss is, I guess, maybe rounding the wagons to kind of prepare itself to compete, or where do you feel things have changed, and do you feel like Ole Miss is in a position to compete moving forward? And I'll hang up and listen. Thank y'all.
Chase?
It's not 15 in a couple different ways. In 15...
Hey, caller, hang on real quick. I've got you queued up. I'll let Chase answer, and then we'll go from there.
In 15, you knew the NCAA thing was coming. You knew everything was going on. Everything was borrowed time and the complete end of a chapter. Lane, we talked about this morning that something has felt whatever, but he deserves the benefit of the doubt. He's earned that given these 2 seasons. So, no, I don't think it's something where you're completely just going, hey, the boat's turned over and it's capsized and everything's everything. Because, look, even a season next year where you're not going 10-2, but you go, frankly, even in the right circumstance, 7-5, you're not losing complete all momentum and falling off the map. So, no, I don't feel like it feels like that at that point to me. Could be wrong. I think we're at a pivotal time where they do have to still pick up guys from the portal. Things have got to move, but it's not to that point yet where it's there.
No, and I think they're making progress on NIL and all that stuff.
I think they're sneakily better than a lot of teams that you would not think they are.
That's what I think, too. They've got some really smart people that are trying to make that happen, but they're trying to make it happen in a way where if you were to be the subject of a colonoscopy, you'd pass.
Yes, 100%.
Hey, who do we have?
This is Rodney. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, Rodney, what's up?
Well, I just want to say I appreciate y'all. This is the end of the football season, so I probably won't be listening as much as I usually do, but I really have enjoyed y'all. This is the second season in a row of going on with the season and listening to y'all, and I get a lot out of y'all's podcast, and I appreciate it. Just want to tell y'all doing a good job, and just keep it up. But can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah,
we're listening. Yeah.
Neal, y'all been talking about some of these shows like you like to watch, and Neal, y'all think you like The Office, right?
I love The Office. Yeah.
I love The Office too, but there's a show that came on between The Office and the Seinfeld. It don't get, I hate to call it underrated because it gets a lot of publicity, but Everybody Loves Raymond was a heck of a comedy.
Yeah, I still like that sometimes.
You watch that?
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to be in the right. I have to be in the right mood. I can't just.
Isn't he a sports writer? That show?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Loosely
a sports writer.
Loosely, yeah.
You look up and go, yeah, that's not what that's like.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
But Ole Miss people just enjoy. We just had a good year. We wish could have won that last game, but it is what it is. Just enjoy it. I've decided about 15 years ago I used to get tore up over these games. Don't let 18 to 23-year-olds dictate how your weekend's going to go. Just keep that in mind and try to enjoy the good times.
Always some truth to that, Rodney. I would definitely think
Well, all right, y'all have a good one, and I'll probably be calling in next week.
so. No. Yes.
Hold
no.
on. Oh, we might be getting back. Okay.
It says excellent now.
Yeah.
Did we save it?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I think so. Someone let us know we're okay.
It'll be 43 seconds. But
Yeah.
Sure.
One thing I'm going to learn is I'm going to let them hang up on me.
That's what does it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah, I think we're back. I think I salvaged it.
Ooh. It had to be getting close to dead, though.
Yeah, yeah,
The-
yeah.
We had the paddles, and we only had a couple more
The
presses
fat lady
left.
was singing.
Yeah.
All right.
I've heard nothing from an official source regarding Barney Farrar at all. I just would do it if I were in charge. That's all.
Hey, who do we have?
Hey, this is Bracken, Neal Chase. How are y'all?
Hey, Brian. What's up, man?
Not a whole lot. I was thinking about it today with Zach Evans committing. Is he the most talented back on campus that we'll have since Deuce?
Sheer talent, yeah.
Probably so.
I mean, from a traditional running back, where it's not you're not trying to go, hey, you get a scat back or whatever. Yeah, I think just traditional line it up running back, yeah, 100%.
And a more proven high school player than Deuce was.
A lot of people want to Deuce at linebacker.
Yeah, no doubt. And like during the Freeze days, Freeze had some good guys, and he got a lot out of them.
Yeah.
But he never really had an elite back. And Lane's had some depth there, but I mean, Zach Evans is going to get probably 70, 80% of the touches this year, it kind of feels like.
Well, Freeze had Peyton Barber, but then it got screwed up. Sorry. Peyton was good.
He was.
He was good. Sorry, Bracken. I didn't mean to hijack your call there. It was an opportunity I couldn't resist.
You can't resist it.
Yeah, I mean, I am curious how they split carries. I mean, you're on a backfield with, assuming he's eligible, Evans, Parrish, Bullock, and Judkins. And it's kind of at a point where Bullock's got to either play or kind of go himself. Like it's gotten to that hit for him a little bit. And Parrish, I thought he regressed over the course of the season. He probably needs to add just a touch of weight. I mean, he can't lose his speed. Yeah, it just didn't look right with him there, middle of the year on, for sure.
And listen, people are super high on Kentrell Bullock, and I loved him in the spring when I saw, and then they just wasn't. It's hard to make room for four backs. It's almost impossible to make four backs happy. You saw that this year. It's difficult to make three backs happy. I don't think Snoop,
especially if none of them are playing slot any at all. Kind of how we thought that would happen some at times this year, which it didn't happen as much as we thought with as much talent as we had.
Well, I'll tell you this: they can tell us throughout the offseason that they're moving somebody to the slot. I'm not writing it. I refuse. I took that bait, and it didn't happen. I don't think I saw either Henry Parrish or Jerrion Ely in the slot once all season after being told that it was going to be a really big part of what they did.
Did y'all see it in practice, though?
Yeah, a little bit.
And then Jerrion kept talking about it for whatever that was worth.
And Henry would talk about it.
Yeah.
Only if he was prompted by what, hey, Jerrion said. Henry would be like, oh, yeah, we're doing that too. And now I look back on it, and I was like, that they were just, I don't know what they were doing. That's screwing with us, I suppose. I'm not sure why.
Let's say why.
I mean, we're harmless. But I won't fall for it this time. But you're right. It's if someone's not playing some slot minutes or some slot snaps, it's impossible to keep three or four backs happy. No way.
It's the only way to do it.
It's a good problem to have, though.
It is.
Hey,
you're a basketball guy too, Bracken. Let me ask you, Kyle Wilson with the super chat. I'll let you answer as well. Who leaves Alabama first, Nick Saban or Nate Oates?
Oh, Nate Oates for sure.
He's got big job coming, right?
Yeah, he's got blue blood job coming.
I was a little shocked. I don't think people saw Duke and Carolina both opening this year. I think that was a shock to some people nationally. I was a little shocked that Carolina didn't look at Nate Oates a little bit there. I know we're only 2 or 3 seasons into him here at Alabama, but And the difference with Duke is Shire's recruiting at just an unbelievable level. And I think Hubert Davis is an okay coach. But, I mean, Nate's a guy that could go get a top 10 job in the next, 1 to 2 years. And for y'all think this as well. I mean, I think Saban's got 3 to 5 years left in him. So Nate for sure is what I think. But Greg Burns, super respected at Bama, and they're putting everything they can into that program as well. So I think, they're doing everything they can at Bama, but I think Nate goes before Nick does.
What do
y'all think there?
I mean, I agree with you. The only question I have is college basketball has become so niche outside of a handful of markets. Like if you say, when you said top 10 job, I was thinking in my mind, okay, 20 years ago, I could tell you what the top 10 jobs in the country were. No problem. Today, I'm not sure I could, because today it's obviously Kentucky and Kansas and Duke and Carolina. Like, I don't even know, is UCLA a top 10 job anymore? Is Arizona a top 10 job anymore?
It's still Louisville, right? As weird as that is.
Is it? I'm not saying you're wrong, but I mean, is Louisville today a top 10 job? I mean, isn't Villanova?
The variable that's changed all of it, too, is who's committing to NIL and who's not.
Yeah, that's kind of my point,
Because let me ask, is Gonzaga or is Gonzaga Mark Few? Like, did they continue this? Is there an infrastructure?
Is
in place?
Villanova what's his face,
right.
or is it Jay Wright, or is Villanova? Because Villanova today is a top 10 job, but is that because Jay Wright has built it into a top 10 job, or is it because Villanova is a top 10 job?
Right. And who would have thought 20 years ago that a Gonzaga assistant would take the Arizona job?
Oh.
I mean, I'll give you one. Is Michigan a top 10 job? Because it kind of is with Juwan Howard, but when Juwan Howard, before him, the handful of guys before that kind of
the other guy did a decent job for a year or two.
Okay.
Was it the one that went to Amaker? Was that who it was? Or maybe the guy went to Harvard. I don't know. I'm in the wrong sport here.
No, they were Beeline before.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Beeline did a good job.
Yeah.
Before that, he did a really good job at West Virginia, so
That's
it made you
right.
think that Beeline was a Beeline job. But
That's
now
right.
Juwan Howard's taking it up
Nate's
another
going to
level.
be able to be picky, but I still think that his lifespan there is probably 2 to 3 years, because I don't know that he thinks that he can get that to the level of a blue blood, even though that athletic department is phenomenal. So I would pick Nate over Saban, because Saban may do this till he dies.
Just because we have you, I'm just kind of curious. Ceiling floor for this Ole Miss basketball team the rest of the way?
I think at this point, 7 or 8 conference wins is probably the ceiling. The floor probably closer to 5. The tough thing is, they still are guarding pretty well at a high level against a lot of these teams they're playing. But when you are a team and you've only got one guy that can be a primary ball handler, you've really got nobody outside of Ruffin who can beat people off the dribble, and you can't shoot from the perimeter either. It's a really tough thing to do. Defense travels, and we saw that at times last night. But I think from a personnel standpoint, and then they're a little banged up too. They're not super deep right now. It just doesn't seem like the ceiling is there to make the postseason in any facet, whether that be NCAA or the NIT as well. And the league's a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet. There's some teams that are inconsistent, and there's gonna be some cannibalization there as well. But the league's a gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean, NCAA is going to require 13-5, and they're not getting there.
God, no.
And NIT is probably going to require, for this team,
not far off that the way the NIT is structured now.
Yeah, probably 10 to 11 SEC wins, and that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, and they could go 9 and win 2 in the tournament, that kind of deal. But right now, Robert Allen, not super talented guy, but that one's bit them a little bit here in the past couple of weeks.
Oh, I thought that was critical. Just the things he kind of gave them right there, and then where it fell off with him gone. The fall off was pretty substantial. Yeah, I mean that to me more than anything else, that's the one that sort of changed their season.
Allen's a leader for them too. He was a voice on the floor, and anybody who's ever played basketball knows how important that is. He was also such a critical player in their 1-3-1 because he was the top guy. And it makes Jamin Brakefield do it now. And Jamin's still a very inconsistent player.
And he's slower and he's not super athletic. But the thing, Robert Allen goes down, and the next whatever couple games it was, out of the next 5 games, they play 3 mid-major schools and get out-rebounded by all of them.
Yeah.
And so you can see that, you can see that automatically in those next 3 games against mid-major schools.
They're a shooter short. They've been a shooter short for a while. I mean, they got some shooting last night. It was the reason that they kind of stayed in the game despite the fact that they couldn't score was Ty Fagan made some shots last night. He typically doesn't shoot like that. But,
no doubt.
When you commit 26, 27 turnovers,
How stunned were you when Luis pulled up with 13 seconds to go?
Well, I worked for Andy Kennedy personnel team, so none of that shit's ever surprised me.
Okay. All right.
God, can you imagine Andy at that moment?
I remember, I think it was 16 or 17. We were tied with Memphis with like 4 minutes left, and TD goes for a 360 dunk and misses it. And thank God Joe Lindsey bailed us out and we got fouled there. But, I think he would have killed him. And that's kind of what Kermit looked like last night as well, too. You gotta be a little bit more disciplined with that, especially on the road. And, if you go in and knock off Tennessee, and they're kind of all over the place. This year, I thought they were going to be really good, and they defend well and all that, but they don't run a whole lot of good stuff offensively. But you go in there and win that one. You got at least hope, and I don't know what hope means for this team, what the end goal is, but you got some hope and momentum going. But 9 seconds left, shooting a 3 there. I thought Kermit was going to have a heart attack.
On the other side, Kennedy Chandler took a bad shot, and Rick Barnes and he. It kind of got glossed over, but for just a split second, I thought the two of them were about to get a little more heated than you need to get, and a player kind of got in the middle of it.
Really?
Yeah.
And he didn't look very good last night, and he's looked good. He looked good early in the season.
Kennedy or Rick? Because I didn't think either one was very good.
Well, yeah, Kennedy. Rick's got a bunch of years of looking good. This one hasn't been it so far, but Kennedy Chandler looked good early in the season. But last night, because we kind of had this deal where we could have had some fun of like a Brian Tyree, Lamar battle, Ole Miss versus State. You could have had that Kennedy Chandler Ruffin battle because they were kind of, grew up together in the rankings and all that stuff. But, Kennedy Chandler didn't do a whole lot last night.
Yeah. Last thing before we'll let you go. The SEC has one Final Four team. Who is it?
It's either Auburn or Alabama.
Yeah, I think it's Bama. The only thing that I struggle with Bama is, and this is such an elementary take, but I don't love their forwards. They're not super talented there, so they rely on the 3 ball a lot. And they could be a 3 seed and get knocked out early in the tournament if they don't have a good shooting night. That's probably my pick there. But that's the tough part with them. You never really know.
Fair.
Appreciate you. Good hearing from you.
Yep. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
You're not at the moment, but you might be fixing it.
Fixing it. I'm concerned about calls.
Wonder what's happening.
I don't know. This has happened before.
It says it's back.
Yeah, it's back. It's bouncing on calls, and I don't understand it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna close Skype out and reopen it.
Okay.
Because sometimes that helps. I'm gonna kill Skype for a minute, and then I'll reopen Skype because that was close. Yeah, no one can get through right now because the number's down. I'm letting Skype sort of refresh. Maybe that will help.
I looked it up, by the way. Jerry and Ely spent 4% of his snaps this season in the slot.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't remember one.
Well, there was no...
He wasn't impactful in the slot. They didn't make him part of the deal. All right, the number's back up. I've refreshed Skypes. Maybe that will do it. It makes me nervous, but it is what it is. It's one of those days. I did fix Chase's camera from this morning.
Did a hell of a job. I mean,
it's working.
It is.
I mean, are you impressed? 2 years ago, you would have been like, "You can't do any of this." Now, I'm
figured it, like troubleshot it too. I mean, it was completely.
Yeah, I watched some videos.
I left this morning. I went, I'll still have that flip cam up.
No, you walked in and you were like, "Son of a bitch."
Yeah. Well, Caroline came in here. All right, she got up.
No, and I did it myself. Because Caroline has company. She has one of her friends from Arkansas is in town, and Megan, her friend from Ole Miss, is here. So she was too busy.
The one you want to drug?
The one that I wanted to drug that everybody hates. Yeah, right. Okay. Hey, who do we have?
Lila.
Hey,
Lila.
How are you?
Good.
How was Christmas?
It was fun.
What did Santa Claus bring you? Did he come?
Mhm.
What?
I got a watch, but it hasn't came in yet. We had to order it.
Oh, okay. What kind of watch?
I think it's like an Apple Watch, but it's different.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That way you can count your steps and stuff every day. Are you already counting steps and calories and stuff?
No.
What else did you get besides a watch?
I got a giant stuffed animal.
Oh, what kind?
It's a squishmallow.
Oh.
Never heard of that.
Never heard one of those.
Yeah.
We got a giant stuffed animal here in the Clark Ford Studios, which is the truth. We do. Murray the Moose.
I also got a hat and gloves and shoes.
You had a good Christmas.
That's a good Christmas.
And chocolate.
And chocolate, yeah.
Well, we all like chocolate.
Yeah, everybody likes it. What kind of chocolate was it?
It's, I think it's like the chocolate from Harry Potter. It's what the wrapper was.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty cool. How's everything else going? Anything new?
Not really.
Have you started school back? When do you go back to school?
I went back to school on Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Okay. Well, good. Well, listen. I hope you have a great. I guess is it second semester? Is that I don't even know what you call it at your age. Just hope you have a great second half of your year.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Thank
Call
you
us
for
again.
calling.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye. I'm almost hesitant to hit this button, but I'm going to do it.
I mean, what choice do we have? And it's gone.
Did it die?
Mm-hmm.
Son of a.
Well, maybe it came back, but it clicked for a second.
But I think we're live.
I
right?
think we're okay. Yeah.
I mean,
I think
I don't want to jinx it, but I think we're okay.
Yeah, we should have asked her about Caleb Williams. That was a missed opportunity.
It could have gotten a prediction.
I mean,
the good news is she probably has this in a really good perspective. If Caleb Williams doesn't come, she's going to be okay.
it's not changing the fact she got chocolate for Christmas.
And you still got your squishmallow.
What is it?
I guess it's a giant stuffed marshmallow.
I don't know.
Why don't you Google it? I'm afraid to do anything. I'm afraid to hit buttons right now. Everything just feels like it's just hanging.
It does appear to be a little tenuous tonight. I don't know.
It's a lot tenuous.
Our hamster is really tired.
Squishmallows are the softest pillow in the world. When the dad,
It's got to be some sort of is it like
life.
an animal?
I don't know. My kids are a little past that stage. We still have closets full of Webkins from the day.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Are you saving them? It's a
yeah.
big round stuffed animal.
Big round stuffed animal. That's what I figured.
Yeah, I've never heard of one.
So it's not like an actual marshmallow. It's like a big duck or a big lamb or something.
Pillow like.
Yeah. Does Matt Corral have a chance at being top 5? Probably not.
Only in the way that Okay, so I've got it here. It is our friend Avery sent it. It is it's kind of like an animal. It's like it's like a monster looking thing that here like that's a squishmallow.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
A happy monster.
Yeah. It's all right. Yeah.
Hey, who do we have?
Hey, I'm doing Zach from Memphis. How are y'all?
Hey,
Zach. We're good.
Just hanging out. Y'all need Jeffrey to be an intern again and do y'all's little switchboard for the calls, man. He could be putting everybody on hold like he does.
He's kind of like moved up in the world now, where we would have a hard time getting Jeffrey for that one at these points.
Yeah,
it's crazy. When he first started with y'all, I could not stand that kid, and now I absolutely love him. I listen to him every day on H9. It's just crazy. My question's for Chase, though, real quick.
Okay.
Chase, would you consider doing and I'm not trying to ask too much of you, but a baseball hand raise guys on like a Sunday night or a Monday night or something after a SEC weekend series?
We've discussed this. I'm not against it at all. Especially now. The way Brian keeps up with it, I probably could do something with him that would make a lot of sense. Frankly, it's kind of up to you guys to have enough interest on a week-to-week level where it's not just, are they going to Omaha, or are they not, are they firing the guy?
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing, is it's got to have a lot of weekly appeal where people are pretty locked in on the outcome at that point.
Definitely. It would be driven by the season, I would assume. But, at the same time, I love your take on the baseball. I'd love to be able to ask you some questions. So I guess we could do it on the board, too. But y'all do a great job. I know, Neal, you'd be out unless it's the MLB probably, but at the same time.
You watched a lot more last year than usual.
Yeah, I watched last year. I watched actually, by the end of the season, I felt like I was quasi-educated on at least the good teams in the league. Like I felt like I knew Ole Miss and Vanderbilt and Mississippi State and Arkansas and Florida and a couple others pretty well. Now, if you started getting into the minutia of the teams in the back half of the league, I would have looked at you funny like,
that was not really relevant to –
But
the teams that were in the hosting conversation.
And I was pretty educated on the Ole Miss team. I watched more last season than I had in 10 years.
Good. Well, we appreciate what y'all do, man. Seriously. Hope y'all can have maybe a party up here in Memphis sometime with all of us up here whenever y'all get this way. But enjoy y'all's show, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
I think we're okay.
We okay? Yeah, I did not see a blip that time. There's some small NIL deals with baseball players. I'm not aware of anything larger than that. The biggest thing, though, is I do think they're...
You know what's funny? Not to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of any big basketball NILs.
I'm not either.
Everything is so football-oriented right now. Now, that might change, and that might change in baseball too, but everything right now is let's figure out football first and then go from there.
I do think baseball in the next year is going to have a team-wide NIL situation that drastically levels the playing field.
Yeah.
I think this is the last season with the antiquated rules affecting things as they are.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Hey, who do we have?
Yo, it's Grind.
Hey, Grind, what's going on?
Oh man! Why does Brian Harsin not love us? Why does he not care about us?
So who did you want, Ron?
What'd you say, man? What'd you say?
Who did you want? Quarterback. Take Caleb Williams out of it. Like other than the winning, everybody getting the one dude. Who'd you want?
Okay, at first there was some Slovis talk because
okay.
Austin Davis stuff, West Coast stuff. Then that didn't happen. And after then, I was more, because after that, I was told that, okay, he really likes this 3-star true freshman that he's bringing in. And I'm like, oh, God. I'm like, what? What? And then, but they're saying, hey, but Auburn's still going to go after 2 quarterbacks. I'm hearing TJ Finley probably going to transfer. But,
you're not heartbroken about that, though.
To where?
I'm hearing probably to a group of 5 schools, more than likely.
Okay.
But he'll have to sit out.
Yeah, he'll have to sit.
He could run Hugh's system.
This is what's going to be interesting. Is I was talking about this with some people today about just how many people are almost transferring because they can.
Yeah.
In a year, when you've already used your transfer, you get one kind of get out of jail free card, and once you use it, you don't get it back.
No, not at all, man. And see, the thing about it is, man, when I was out in College Station, like, I went to the Auburn Texas A&M game, man. It's at halftime when I'm up there getting 2 Aggie beers. If the football guys would have came down and stopped everything, froze everybody and just talked to me and said, "Hey, man, Auburn's quarterback for next season is on the field," I would have said, "Man, I know, Bo Nix, man, get out of here."
Yeah.
And now I'm like, man, what the heck? Like, what? Oh, brother.
Can you see the screen right now? Can you see the screen right now, Grind?
Let me see, man.
What are you looking at?
I can now, yeah.
Okay, just
man. Oh my goodness, man!
I couldn't tell whether you could see it or not, so I wanted to make sure you could see it. Yeah.
Man, like, to be honest with you, like, my family, we go to the game at, for me, my uncle, my granny, and my mom. And, like, if you had to do a poll of us right now, like, 3/4 of us are already out on Harsin. It's crazy.
It's so interesting how many Auburn people I've talked to who say the same thing. And
what is it?
Yeah, like when I was sitting at the bowl, when I was at the bowl game, I was sitting guys around me, and it's just like, it's not because it's because it felt like this whole season, like, bro, like, I don't know if people know this, Auburn was one of the few teams that had a lead in every game it played this year. Auburn led in every game and lost more than half of those games. That's the thing, and like that's the thing. Where I was telling people, I was like, bro, he's been a head coach for 8 years already. That's not a good sign. Like, the fact that you had a lead and you blew. Like, I'm telling you, the Mississippi State game, like, made everybody just threw up all over themselves. People like, when I was at the Birmingham Bowl, people didn't come to the bowl game to like people really came to support Auburn and to make it more of an event and stuff like that. It wasn't really like some we're showing y'all we're behind Harsin or something like that. That Mississippi State loss, he doesn't know how bad that loss. The loss of Mississippi State hurt him way worse than the loss to Alabama.
I remember watching that game. I watched almost all of
the way
game.
It happened.
The way it went down was like, whoa.
That loss right there killed every, like, he like, I'm not sure if he understands, man. And like, this is a big season coming up for him. Luckily, this year and really next year's schedule is real soft. You get Cal as the non-con, and you draw Vandy from the East.
Yeah.
So you have to really do something. Not this season coming up, but the next season. I still think that he's gonna get at least 3 seasons. But man, come on, dude. You can't be thrown. You can't do this. You can't lose Mississippi State how you did. Lose 7 games the way you did, and then throw Calzada in our face.
And his problem next season is that he has to go to Ole Miss and to Mississippi State, and both of those are going to be difficult games. And then they got to go to Alabama, which obviously
starting off the bat, you're 10-2 already. You're 10-2 starting off the bat. Because you got to go to Bama, you got to go to Georgia. You're 10-2 already.
Oh, I see what you're saying. There's 2 games. Their SEC road schedule is brutal. Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, and State. I mean, you could go 0-4 in that easily.
Yeah. Now, see, look, I'm going to tell you this. Us as Auburn fans, we look at it as when Auburn is doing like what we're supposed to do. These are the years like if Bama and Georgia aren't necessarily clicking, well, we can make hay because we get LSU at home, we get A&M at home,
and you get the 2 Mississippi teams on the road. I know. Ole Miss fans don't want to hear that, but you're right. Auburn views it as, hey, if we've got everything clicking, the year we go to the 2 Mississippi schools, that's 2 SEC road wins. It's kind of like Ole Miss views Vanderbilt. Whether that's fair or not is another topic for another day, but that's how they view it. Yeah. But when you don't have it rolling, and right now Auburn does not, you look at that schedule and you go, okay, those could be 2 L's. And now all of a sudden A&M comes to town and LSU comes to town, and losing 6 SEC games is not out of the realm of possibility, and you're in trouble.
Not at all, man. Not at all. Let me ask y'all something, man. I watched the playoffs. I kind of went with the late crowd, man. Went with the late money. I threw some money on Georgia. When Jim Harbaugh went to bed, because all this news about Jim Harbaugh, NFL stuff. When his head hit the pillow, did he think to himself, like, this is it? This is the best I can do at Michigan.
Yes.
The mission is accomplished.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. That's why. And that's
you think so?
Yes, and that's why you hear NFL.
Because that's the only thing that I'm thinking.
The way the game went, you went, okay.
Yeah, that was his best team. They were good. I watched Michigan a good bit this year. They were a good team. They had good players. I mean, we're all doing this Hutchinson thing, and Hutchinson's not the best player in the country, for God's sake, but he's still a very good player. And they have good players. Their quarterback's a good player. They have speed. They have good DBs, and they just got abused by an SEC team. They just got abused. That game, that Georgia-Michigan game, was Laura and I we were cooking dinner, and we had a couple of drinks and stuff, and by the time I got into my second drink, that game was over.
Over.
And he knew it too. I mean, Jim Harbaugh's a good. He's a good coach. If you want to
be honest, my bad. You can go ahead and finish your statement.
Yeah, it was simple. It's nothing profound. Jim Harbaugh's a good coach. He's led a team to the Super Bowl. Jim Harbaugh's a good coach. He's been around a lot of football. If you remember Jim Harbaugh's playing career, he was a really talented, gritty, smart player. We love to make fun of his pants and crap like that, and it's all stupid. Yeah. The truth is, Jim Harbaugh, he's a good coach, and he's a very smart football mind, and he knows what he saw.
Yeah. And if you believe that Kirby will eventually have a better quarterback than Stetson Bennett, then you have to think that this won't be the best version of Georgia. And this is not even, like, technically, he got abused by the SEC runner-up. Like, that when his head hit the pillow, he said, we just went against the SEC runner-up and had no chance.
No chance.
And
Got blown out.
This is the year we finally beat Ohio State. We finally beat Ohio State.
Yep.
We finally won the conference. And when we got on the big stage against the SEC runner-up,
and you know what else? You watch the Rose Bowl and you watch Ohio State, and they're not in the same. Both Alabama and Georgia would blow Ohio State off the field. They would blow them out. They're just not. The truth is that
Ohio State trenches just aren't there yet.
Yeah, the truth is the SEC is just head and shoulders above everybody else at the top of the level right now. To win the SEC, you have to be so damn good that by the time you get through running that gauntlet, you beat everybody else.
Yeah. So Chase, I mean, like, they kind of surprised you. Do you think Jim Harbaugh can win? Like, actually thinks he can win a national championship in Michigan?
No, I don't. I think his team can get overall a little better than this year. But I'm still not sure that's enough because I mean it was a big damn gap. It wasn't like if you just had one more wide receiver, I mean that's not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. Before I let y'all go, man, Chase missed the last little trivia, Neal. So I'm trying to get both of y'all in. Y'all want to go for a little trivia before I let y'all go?
Yeah,
absolutely. Why not?
All right, man. Hold on, right quick. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So it's going to be matching. The three teams are Clemson, Alabama, and Ohio State.
Okay.
And these stats are since 2014, since the college football playoff, has been enacted. College football playoff era, 2014 to now. One team has won 92% of their non-conference games since 2014. One team has won 93% of their conference games since 2014. And the other team has had an average margin of victory of 23 points since 2014.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go 93 is a big number, but I still think it's only 14, though. That's still too many. That's one. I'm trying to think. I'm going to go non-con. Conference percentage is Clemson. Neal, you okay with that? The ACC, it's a big number.
It's a big number.
Are they losing that many? They're losing fewer than Ohio State or Alabama in the league, right?
Yeah, I was.
Are we counting SEC championship games?
Or is this regular season? Or is
let me say this. These are just regular season stats. These are just 12-game regular season stats.
The first thing that came to mind was Alabama with the 93% in the league.
You think Clemson's lost more than that in the ACC?
Since
or you think even higher, maybe even that?
Since 2014, they lost several this year.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's kind of what I thought.
I feel like 23% is Ohio State at margin of victory.
Clemson was what struck me was the 23-point margin of victory.
Okay, well,
because they've dominated the league the way they do. But,
okay.
I mean, this is really, and then Ohio State was the.
See, is Alabama lost a damn non-conference game? So they'd be 100.
Since 2014, has Alabama lost a non-con game
in the regular season? The hell's beat them?
2014 was the year they lost to Ole Miss and Oxford. Have they lost a game since then in the league? But they obviously have because it's not 100. Okay,
the hell with it. I've got an answer. We don't need to do it forever. All right, I'm going to go 92% non-con on Clemson, 93% conference on Alabama, and Ohio State at 23% margin of victory.
Neal, are you going to go with that?
I'm going to say Clemson's the above 23 points. Ohio State is 92% non-con, and Alabama's 93% conference.
Okay. Chase, you were correct on all three.
Oh, wow. How about that? Congratulations, Chase.
Clemson has won 92% of their non-conference games in 2014. The only two losses were to Georgia in 2014 and to Georgia this year.
Okay. Well,
Bama has won 93% of their conference games. And what kind of boosts Bama's up? You know, Bama went undefeated last year with a 10-game conference schedule, so they kind of inflated their percentage.
Okay, that makes sense.
And Ohio State does have the 23-point margin of victory since 2014.
That's good.
That? That's good.
Okay,
it's a hell of a question.
Okay, man.
We were close.
Man.
I was close. Chase got it.
All right, man.
Thanks,
guys
Brian.
take it easy, man.
You too, buddy.
Enjoying the show, man.
Later, bud.
Bye. Hey, who do we have?
Hey, it's Mark. What's going on, y'all?
Hey, Mark. What's up?
Yeah, y'all talking about that Orange Bowl. Look, when a 6'6", 360-pound defensive tackle is beating your running back to the edge, you're in for a long night.
It was a game plan weirdness that, I mean, for all we talk about Harbaugh's a good coach, there were all night long, he tried to get to the outside. And maybe you're just running away from Jordan Davis, but you're never beating Georgia to the edge. No shot in hell.
That game told me one thing, that outside of Ohio State, and Ohio State better get a lot better up front on both sides of the lines of scrimmage. But outside of Ohio State, no Big Ten teams ever win the national championship.
I thought the exact same thing.
And Ohio State better get a lot better up front.
A lot better. Like completely a generation better.
They fired their offensive line coach today. Ohio State did.
Oh,
Studwara, is that his name? From LSU. He used to be at LSU, I think.
It wasn't him. It was the players.
Yeah, and because Caleb Hutchinson looked like Reggie White versus Ohio State, and he looked like a good Conference USA player against Georgia. He looked small and he looked slow.
Yep.
And that would be red flag city if I'm an NFL team. Like, I think you could put him on the opposite side of like a Joey Bosa or a Nick Bosa or somebody like that. But to have him be your number one pass rusher, I don't know, man. Because he didn't get one going up against Indiana's tackles.
I think he would fit in some NFL schemes. He just got exposed that night. I mean,
yeah. Like I'm up here in Buckeye Country, and if they thought they had a prayer against that football team down there in Georgia, they're just delusional.
No.
What's Tyler Barron doing?
I'm here at Virginia Tech, but who knows? They can't afford to lose any defensive linemen. My God, that's going to be.
All right, Mark, hang tight. We got a super chat from Jason. I'll let you answer too. He says, pretend Kiffin couldn't keep Matt Corral from Oregon when he's hired in 2019, but everything else is the same. Where is Ole Miss today comparatively? Who's the 2021 quarterback? Would Kiffin be on the hot seat in 2022?
No, because he'll figure it out. He always figures out his offense. He's always going to have a quarterback. He's always going to have an offense. You never have to worry about that.
It's a great question, but here's the true answer. is that he wouldn't have taken the job if he'd known that was possible. He took Ole Miss because of the offensive talent that was in place.
The Ole Miss coach today would be Elijah Drinkwitz.
Oh, God.
It would. I mean,
no, you're right.
I'm not even joking a little bit. It is a 100% true
The things
statement.
that I hear from people who cover Drinkwitz, I don't think he and I would have gotten along. We would have continued the cycle of Ole Miss coaches hating me.
Why?
Because he hates a lot of people. And
Does he really?
If you're not all in, like, go Tigers, he turns on you.
I can't imagine having to cover Elijah Drinkwitz.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I was listening to Grimes call, Harbaugh, and people think I'm crazy, and it would never happen because Michigan's the absolute epitome of morality, and we do things the right way, and they're morally superior to everybody else in college football. But you know who I'd call first if I was Michigan?
Who?
I'd call Urban Meyer.
Oh.
Boy,
sign me up.
Because, well, I'll tell you why. Because Michigan, you might not think Michigan can win the national championship. You know, they're not capable.
If they could do it, it would be somebody like him. It'd
be somebody like him.
But they'd have to sign off on a lot of the other stuff. Speaking of coaches, what's the word in Columbus about Ryan Day?
Well, now they're excited because he fired the offensive line coach today.
Well, the Bears finished their season on Sunday. Is Ryan Day going to be the next coach of the Bears?
I told you my theory that, look, Luke Fickell didn't not take a big job just to coach in a playoff. He had no chance of winning. And my theory is he's been told to hang tight.
It's kind of what I think, too. I kind of agree with you.
And, but Day did. He hired a new defensive coordinator from Oklahoma State. So
well, I mean, look, you're the head coach at Ohio State until you're not, right? I mean, you're the head coach at Ohio State until the Bears call, and they aren't going to call until Sunday night, Monday at the earliest.
I mean, he's got young kids, but they have schools in Chicago. Last time I checked,
they make houses and schools in Chicago, and if you make that kind of money, you can go to the best of them.
I think he would be a better NFL coach because you're just game planning and calling plays. You don't have to worry about defensive personnel and putting together a defensive game plan. And he's elite at that. He's an absolute elite and a play caller. And they got a lot of talent returning on offense because you saw the stable of wide receivers they've got. But again, they ain't beating the SEC unless they get. They're hanging their hat on the fact that they won that 2014 Sugar Bowl with a roster Urban Meyer put together against a running back playing quarterback, and Lane Kiffin forgetting that he had a running back playing quarterback and not running Henry and Yeldon 50 times. So they think they can compete because they had that. It was a great win, fantastic win. That was the national championship game because both those teams were going to smash Oregon. But they think they could still compete. And I'm like, I said, guys, I saw the Bama LSU game last year, and that game wasn't close.
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted no part of Georgia. None. Who do you guys like Monday night?
Neal likes Georgia, don't you? Haven't you been?
I go back and forth.
I think I like Georgia.
I think I like. I don't know. It's difficult for me to go against Alabama. They've been so good for so long, but for some reason, I've got this gut feeling about Georgia.
I want Alabama to win.
I bet Georgia -2, and I just hate going against the better quarterback and the better coach, but I saw that defense. And
the quarterback difference is so big. I mean, it's not even close, right? It's a guy that's going to be potentially the first pick of the 2023 draft versus a guy who's
going to be going to get an MBA.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to criticize the kid because he's squeezing every drop out of the juice there, but boy, he has not looked good against Alabama in his previous chances.
And he's not even really a game manager because he throws these inexplicably you only live once balls up for grabs like 4 or 5 times a game.
No, I mean he won the job making plays, not managing games, and so that's who he is. He's kind of wired that way.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Love the show, man.
Yep.
Talk
Thanks,
to you later.
Mark. Talk to you soon.
Best Mark's ever sounded.
He did. He sounded happy.
Yeah. Ohio State wasn't in the playoff. Tennessee's doing all right.
Super chat from Peyton Moore. Thanks, Peyton. He says, does the strength of schedule of Ole Miss affect the recruitment of Caleb Williams in a good way? Heisman leader and 6-0 going into back half of the season.
I don't think it has any impact on it
Do
whatsoever.
you think if I asked Caleb Williams today, tell me the Ole Miss schedule, do you think he could even get close?
I'm not even sure he can name the league games. No.
Probably not. But it is a thought.
It's a damn good thought.
He could start off like if you give them Kentucky and Auburn 7-0.
The leader,
I guess that's when Alabama comes to town.
Chaos.
We've seen how that works before.
It's a certain mirror, but yeah.
ESPN would be here
That's
for
true. Oh God,
Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, 2 7-0 teams.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, they'd be
live
from the Grove. Hey, who do we have?
Patrick from West Virginia.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, I don't want to get my hopes up with Caleb Williams. So if it's not Caleb Williams, who is it?
That's a great question.
So when you say that, the portal quarterback or who starts the opener?
They have to have another quarterback. So who's competing with Altmaier?
I have no idea.
I would assume they'd have to get one out of the transfer. They want to take.
I do not believe it's anyone who's already in the portal.
I agree.
If it's somebody in the portal, it's Cam Ward, and I just don't see that right now. So at that point, though, I think Luke Altmaier is the starting quarterback in September.
I mean, I watched him play in the Sugar Bowl. I actually thought he did a lot better given the circumstances. Give me the choice. I'm going to take the.
Well, I've seen
take the guy from Oklahoma.
I've seen Caleb Williams play.
Luke.
Yeah, I've seen Caleb Williams play Baylor, and I've seen Luke Altmaier play Baylor, and so I know who's more ready to play an elite defense today.
Have you heard anything about who the recruiting or who the general manager is going to be with the departure?
Not really. I mean, just some rumors that don't appear to have much meat to them.
Because names we're hearing on any kind of staff change on support group seems to be a different job and not that job. So
okay,
yeah.
Well, I'll leave you gentlemen with this. I was poking around the internet because we got a bunch of snow today, and since I'm still kind of a southerner, I kind of knocked off work, watched the snow. They had a hot board from Sports Illustrated about defensive coordinating candidates for Ole Miss. So you know who the second person on the hot board was?
Caleb Williams. I'm kidding. I don't know.
No. Terrell Buckley.
No, well, that's
that's
incorrect. that is not accurate. Where in West Virginia are you, by the way?
I'm in Charleston.
Okay. What's that town like?
It's good. About 50,000 people. Small enough that you see people and they're not complete strangers, but large enough that not everybody knows your business.
Okay.
Fair enough.
It's a beautiful state. When you drive, I did the drive from, I guess, technically from Charleston to, Blacksburg. It was gorgeous.
Yeah. WVU's in some trouble next year. Neal Brown's got a lot of people that are leaving, and they don't have a quarterback. I keep telling my coworkers, I think they got that Nico kid that Ole Miss was on for a little bit, who's a true freshman. I said, if he's playing quarterback, you guys are screwed. I thought he'd do well there, but I think next year might be his last year.
Interesting.
Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate you.
See you guys. Bye.
You ever been to West Virginia?
Never once in my life. You have?
I have. A few times. Driven through it, been to Morgantown a couple times. It's a beautiful state. A little different. Hey, who do we have?
This is Casey.
Hey, Casey, what's up?
Hey, guys. How's your evening?
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Good deal. Well,
Chase is locked into this wild Bruins game. He is fired in.
Tell Chase to answer my super chat about Corral.
What'd you say?
I asked I said, I need him for the Saints. What's the path?
They probably got to trade. Well, I mean, hell, I don't know. They may not even have to trade up, but it's possible they'd have to just trade up a touch just to be safe. But I mean, I'm not completely ruling that out. They don't have a quarterback, and
That would be freaking awesome.
yeah, I mean, I'm doing this thing where I'm trying not to get my hopes up for that. I'm just ignoring it.
Well, I'm an Ole Miss fan. I'm used to getting my soul crushed. It's going to happen one way or the other, so might as well get the soul back up to get crushed.
I understand that. Yeah,
That'd be amazing.
No, look, there's a path there. I mean, because when a quarterback's not a top 5 to 6 pick, I mean, it can get pretty weird in the draft fast. It's pretty gettable for anybody who really wants to get him.
Me and my buddy Rebel Crispy were leaving the stadium with our heads between our legs at the Sugar Bowl, but we looked over and we saw the Saints gear, and I was like, dude, how freaking sick would it be if it said "To Corral" right there on that jersey? We both looked at each other with a glimmer of hope. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mean, I don't expect it necessarily, but I mean, they're one of the 5, 6 teams that probably whatever. I mean, frankly, the biggest thing with the Saints is figuring out what they can do from a cap standpoint. Because of right now, I mentioned this on the show the other day. There's $60 million over the cap right now.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's not great.
Well, I want to talk about Coach Saban for a minute. Neal, can you do your Bama fan from Sulligent voice?
yeah, I can do it in a minute. I gotta.
You gotta work up to it.
Yeah.
You gotta work. I gotta put you on the spot right there again. Okay,
I can do my Eli Gold voice for you real quick. Casey, you're on. Hey, Coach, go ahead. You're on with Coach Saban.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, here's the thing. So he set 2 takes. Number one, he's 72, right? Or fixing to be 72.
He's
whatever.
70 right now. He'll be 71 on Halloween.
Okay. What I mean, people talk about him retiring, but what the hell would he do? I mean, he seems like, I mean, he would have to be like a whole new life.
There are people who insist that he is the guy who is going to replace Lee Corso. That that is part of the plan. That he is going to be. He'll get into the media part. He will be an ambassador for college football. That he would take that role. There are people who have kind of intimated that that's what his wife wants him to do. That maybe that's what his wife needs him to do. But I tend to agree with you that he does not strike me as the type that's going to go home and sit in the recliner and read a good novel. He doesn't seem like that dude.
He's not going to go pontoon with Terry and eating a bunch of cream pies constantly. He'll probably do something like that.
He's not gotten sick of Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies yet. Like, hasn't switched to something else.
Are we sure that's real?
They bring him one a day or whatever.
I know. We talked down about
the wedge salad with the ranch dressing or whatever it is.
I mean, look,
I don't.
You think that's kind of like him knowing he doesn't know when the election day is?
How sophisticated your palate is. If y'all are telling me that an oatmeal cream pie isn't good, then
no, that's not what I'm saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
No.
I'm saying I'm not sure that I buy the everyday thing.
You don't think he has 365 a year or 700 whatever a year?
I mean, hell, I don't know. I mean, I said they're good. I know that, but Nick Saban's he's a different dude. I mean,
because the point is talking about I'm so regimented. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Neal's calling BS.
I don't know that I buy it.
Well, he's the same guy that eat one every day. But if he wants to eat one every day, then Kiffin needs to start eating one every day. Everybody does because he's effing unbelievable. Which brings me to the real question. Okay, so Saban has won big pretty much everywhere except the NFL, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, not as big at Michigan State, but whatever. Well, he's won really big at LSU. He won, obviously, he's done okay at Alabama. One of the things, though, that I was talking about with my friend is he's really good at having a program and everything like that, but he's also really good at knowing how to buy players and build a organization. I guess Alabama, I don't know what you call it. I know Saban always calls it the organization. Here's the question. Does this NIL stuff now putting everything on top for teams that don't know how to do it that well? Does that hurt him some? That has to, right?
I was talking to somebody today, not today, Sunday, who said that Alabama's not going to be as good at NIL as you think they are.
Well, that's what I was thinking. So hear me out. Like, I mean, obviously, they're good at. Well, excuse me, they're good at everything, right? But they're really good at paying players without it getting, it's like The Sopranos,
Yes.
on steroids or whatever. Yep. So if you have teams that have more money, and I believe that, I know Alabama's got a lot of money, but they don't have the type of money that some of these other schools have. If you can structure things in a way that doesn't have to go underground like that, then he would be at a disadvantage of getting players. Now, I'll say this. He's the best coach ever, but he's never won at the highest level without the best players possible, period. He's been at LSU with them, and he's at Alabama with them. And he's out recruiting. I mean, there might be some schools where Georgia's getting close, but still, with I just don't see. I mean, Kirby's nowhere near the coach he is, but my point is he's always had really good talent, and if that NIL levels it for them, that's got to be a problem.
The two catches on that a little bit is it's not going to be this year, probably not next year. I do think the NCAA does something to tighten up the recruiting inducement side of the NIL, even if it's just hammering some school at the mid-level.
Yeah.
There's going to be something there. And then, two, the way Alabama wins, their brand has carried so much NIL. I mean, we knew this back in the summer. I mean, Bryce Young has made a fortune in NIL. Mechie has made a lot of money in the NIL.
And he's good.
Yeah, they've got it. They still have an infrastructure that's willing to go. It's not that they have the same corporations as A&M or Texas. It's that they have so many people willing to go all freaking out to get it done, to the point that they will buy in, and they have so many. That's where it gets me. I mean, I don't think they can match some of these crazy things going on, but I do think this thing sort of kind of levels off a little bit as this thing moves forward. And here's the deal: like I made this joke before, but if I'm a player, just pay me the old way. I don't have to file taxes on that. I don't have to do anything with that.
Sure.
Yeah, that can't fully go away, right? I mean, that's not going away.
Hell no.
Oh, God, no. No. Absolutely
So it's always going to have. Okay, here's what I don't understand. This is just. I mean, no, I don't guess y'all do it either. But how in the hell can we live in a country that says, okay, players can make money off their name, image, and likeness, kind of. Like they can't just. I mean, what does it matter who pays them? If I have when I was in college, working, at the school at the bookstore or whatever, making $75 an hour, or I worked for the school, nobody cares. Like, why does it matter? Why can't schools pay them? Why can't anybody pay them? If it's about justice for their name, image, and likeness, then what does it matter?
It's the people hanging on to the amateur model.
So is it just the NCAA that wants to make that money?
No, it's not. Well, no. Yeah, yes and no.
The schools can't afford it, or they don't want to afford it either.
Yeah,
they keep getting rich from it.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And frankly,
somebody's making that money though.
Frankly, a very small amount are making the type of money that would make it feasible.
You'd be surprised at how many Power 5 schools would say we can't do it if we go there. Not with so. But here's the answer.
So this way they're dying, but they're dying slower.
Well, but here's the thing, right? So okay, so I remember, if you want to make this a business, sure. Would athletic departments be all in on making this a business? Sure. Now, what does that mean? You have a football program. You may have a men's basketball program and nothing else. Nothing else. Every other sport dies. College baseball, dead. Women's basketball, dead. Softball, women's soccer, track and field, men's and women's golf, men's and women's tennis, swimming. Oh, swimming's dead. Oh, my God, dead. Gymnastics, dead. Everything's dead. Now, do you want that? Because that's when everybody comes back and goes, no, I don't want that. And so then you have to go back to the amateur model of football paying for everything. And then that's where you get back into, well, then how do we pay the players? Private donations.
Yeah. I gotcha. Yeah, well, that makes
because look, if you want to go to a business model, and eliminate everything except football and then a handful of programs, men's basketball, and most men's basketball programs would fold. But if you want to go to that, then yeah, you can pay the players. Sure, I mean you got $100-something million bucks, and yeah, you can pay the quarterback $6 million. Well, now you're an NFL team.
Yeah, I just think the teams that are going to win now, that aren't going to win in that model aren't going to win now either. I mean, they're still getting more money.
Well, yeah,
but
the whole this is going to level the playing field.
What you're saying, though.
No, we're never going to completely level the playing field. But I mean, the only way to do that is to make it professional and have a cap and all of those things that the pro teams do. And I would argue that while that sounds virtuous and everything, that's not really what college athletics is about. At the end of the day, I mean, Ole Miss took 50,000 people to the Sugar Bowl, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Had you
at least.
Yeah. But all 50,000 went knowing you weren't playing for a championship. You went for the experience, the time with your fellow fans, with your family, the people, all of those things, that the sentimentality that makes college sports what it is. So, I mean, that's
you're right.
You're
right. I mean, that's a good answer. I mean, that something I don't think about when and I mean, obviously, the NCAA is not my favorite, or I don't think anybody really here's favorite, but.
I mean, Utah took what, 65,000 people to the Rose Bowl.
Did they really?
Someone said the number was incredible. I mean, those people, they knew Utah wasn't playing for a championship. I mean, they went for the experience. They went for the moment. That's kind of what.
Yeah, like Chase said, just freaking fix it. Like, make it, tighten it up, or have better, like, I don't know, timing of it or whatever, the portal and stuff at NIL.
I think they probably will. It's brand new. I think there are going to be some transfer portal windows that develop, and I mean, it's just brand new right now, and everyone's kind of testing it. And the beginning, the first few phases of it are kind of crazy.
I got you. Well, guys, hey, thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome. See you.
All right, bye.
Jason says, Neal, why can't the NCAA set a program-wide cap on NIL like $3.5 million? Well, the two things is, A, that's still putting salary caps on players, not letting them fully get their value if they have it. And then two, I mean, you can, but it's just going to put the old way of doing it back into focus for anything over that if necessary. I mean, which is still where it's filling in wherever it's needed.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
Yeah, this didn't just clear up and clean out the black market,
No.
And yeah, I'm shutting up.
Oh, you're right, though.
Yeah.
Hey, who do we have?
Tyler.
Hey, Tyler, what's up?
Oh, not a whole lot. Big fan of the show. First time caller.
Thank you.
I got a question. I guess this would be more geared towards Chase since grew up an Ole Miss fan. But I have a problem. I like the idea of expanding the stadium, making it bigger, but we can't even fill it up as it is. Do you think this will, I guess, cause more problems with looks on TV? Our coach chews us out every time we don't show up. So,
what exactly was your question? I'm sorry.
Are you worried about with us expanding the stadium any? We can't fill it up as it is. So, what's really the point of expanding it, making it bigger?
They're not really making it bigger, though, right? It's just it's making it more accessible on that side, making it look better, and then it's putting in better seats. It's not really about a full. Am I wrong here, Neal?
I thought it was about more creature comforts.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought it was actually about better for the people there more than the actual increasing the actual size of the stadium. I could be wrong, but that's what I thought. Because there's no reason for Ole Miss to expand at all. That makes no sense.
Right.
Make the ticket harder. Make the seats better, do things to make it better for everybody there.
Right. So, looking at the quarterback situation, because I'm an Ole Miss fan, but I don't really put on the red and blue glasses. Looking at Luke Altmaier, how he performed in the Sugar Bowl, when we first saw Matt Corral come in, we didn't think anything of this caliber season that he could perform like this. Could we be seeing something like that with Luke, and we just don't know it yet?
Sure. Of course. Luke 1 year ago was playing at Starkville High School. I mean, he didn't even have the benefit of
I thought the talent looked pretty good.
I did too.
Now, granted, if Caleb Williams decided to come, then, I mean, Luke wants to go to Southern Miss or wherever, that's fine too. But I mean,
yeah, Luke would have a decision to make.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Which is just life in 2022 for every quarterback, every time a portal quarterback comes in. Hey, this means I'm not valued in your head, and you have to make a decision.
Now, I will say the situation's a lot better if it's every Friday we're looking at Luke and Matt going into the next day instead of Luke and Kincaid Dent.
Well, sure.
I mean, you don't turn Caleb Williams down.
No.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
you say yes.
Yes.
You send in the paperwork.
Yeah, with
Would you like a carrier pigeon? Would you like it faxed?
Well, no,
What would you like?
a Learjet, as fast as you can get it there. He's a top 5 pick caliber talent. Frankly, and this is no knock on Matt, he's more talented than Matt. Raw talent.
Right. You think if we don't get Caleb, Layton's going after this year?
Oh, hell, I don't know. I'm going to be honest, and this is not going to be great for ratings and such, but I'm kind of out of the Lane Kiffin prediction sweepstakes business. I don't know what Lane wants to do. No one does, really.
Sure.
The number of people that really know Lane is so small that we're all kind of guessing. I think Lane liked having his name mentioned. I think unless the people around him are just too scared to say it, somebody around him has probably said by now, hey, this might not be the greatest way of building a program. This hurt you a little bit. And look, there's no way around this. Lane Kiffin knows that if he wants to get a, quote, blue blood job, and at this point, there aren't that many jobs that are better than the Ole Miss job. There are jobs that are better, but there are not tons of them. And if you want to get one of those, you've got to establish that you can build and sustain a winning program. Everyone knows he can build a winning team. Can he build and sustain a winning program? That's what people want to see. And right now, the place that's giving him the opportunity to do that is Ole Miss. And if I were representing Lane Kiffin, if I were advising Lane Kiffin, it would be, hey, put your heart and soul in this for 2 or 3 years. Make it happen. And then one of two things will happen. You'll either fall in love with it and want to stay, or you'll be able to get one of those jobs that you covet.
Well, and being from Mississippi and growing up around here, I went to high school here. I'm in college here. We don't like when we're on the edge of our seat every time it comes for a new coaching carousel. I mean, we like commitment, and the college kids here aren't going to want to come to Ole Miss if they think that their coach is going to leave after every year. Now, I understand that we can't just focus on Mississippi recruits, but y'all said it on the show, if we can't recruit in Mississippi as well as that other school, then there's no way we can go national.
But look, listen to the earlier part of the show. I mean, Jim Harbaugh's a Michigan guy, and most people think right now that he wants out. That's published reports. Ryan Day, Ohio State was his dream job. He wants out. I mean, everybody I just think the landscape has changed. The whole a guy's going to stay someplace for 20 years. It's just not realistic. I mean, Mark Stoops has built Kentucky into what he did, and he would have left for LSU with the phone call.
Sure. Me and a buddy of mine were talking the other day. We were both in agreement on this as a Ole Miss fan. Right now, when it comes to commitment, we sometimes would rather have Jeff Lebby as our head coach than Lane Kiffin.
I mean, I'm just going to play devil's advocate for a minute just on Lebby. Let's say Lebby comes in and lights the world on fire. Then he's a hot commodity.
Yeah, are you saying he wouldn't think about Oklahoma when they call?
Or if
but if we're thinking about this scenario, that means it's post-Lane Kiffin era, which is obviously another year. Then if Lebby builds on that, sets it on fire, and then he leaves, then, I mean, it seems like we're only going up. Now, if we go down, then we can all accept that we're just never going to make it, and we're just going to have to move on.
I just think you always just have to say, hey, live where your feet are, do the best you can, and try to
figure it out.
Try to hire the right people and do the best you can, and then go from there. The whole living in the fear of it is sort of defeats the purpose. Hey, thanks for the call. We appreciate you.
All right.
There's a good point in the thread.
We had a hiccup, but I think I fixed it.
Yeah.
Hiccup out of the blue. No.
Scotty Phillips had 19 carries for 62 yards.
They got beat up front that day too. If you remember.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think we're back.
Okay. Grizz blowing out the Pistons.
The Grizzlies are really good.
86-57.
And then John Morant's having an MVP caliber season.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. The Grizzlies are really good. And John Morant is a bad boy. I mean, they're legit.
Oh, sorry. The good point in the thread was Ginger made a point about Corral's first start. Yo guys all went away as I was spilling that on. Corral's first start was in the Liberty Bowl. It was a loss to Memphis. He was 9 of 19 for 93 yards and an interception in a 15-10 defeat.
And my point was the play calling that day was egregious. They did not give him an opportunity to do a lot of the things. Their field position was bad.
It was a safety.
Yeah, they weren't. But yeah, he struggled. And then, if you remember that Cal game a couple weeks later, he was bad. And they were getting mauled, and he got hurt, and Plumlee came in, and you know the rest of that story. John Rice in Orlando now? You checked with him? Y'all communicate? How's it going?
He is, I believe he's in Orlando. I believe that's correct.
How's the visit going? Do you know?
I don't know. Sorry. Don't know. Gabe report that Missouri had at least some interest.
Gabe said that Missouri had some interest. He wasn't sure Missouri wanted him as a quarterback. Hey, who do we have?
What's going on, guys? It's Tommy.
Hey, Tommy.
Hey, Tommy. What's up?
Man, it's going good. A lot of snow, a lot of ice. Good stuff.
Where you at?
West Memphis, actually, now.
Oh, wow.
I went up into northern Arkansas earlier, up in the mountains, like Mountain View and Heber Springs and all that. That's where I picked up all the ice. I had to get my truck washed when I got back down here because of it. It was all right, though. So,
what's on your mind?
You guys doing all right tonight?
Oh, yeah, we're good. We're good. Fighting the computer, but we're making it work.
Oh, y'all got troubles?
Just
Neal's having a little bit of problems.
Skype and Ecamm want to fight each other tonight, and I'm trying to keep them separate. I'm trying to keep the peace.
You know what it is? It's that Zach Evans story that just kept running forever. It's got everything screwed up.
That's certainly possible. That it sat in the system for so long that it created problems.
Yeah, I mean, it knew it needed to be out. It just, it just couldn't do it. I don't know, man. I just sit back and, I'm about as diehard Ole Miss as they come, but sometimes we get a little delusional, don't we?
About what?
About, where we are. Where we're, I would love to win a national title. I would love it. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be a party in Eagle Point the day we do it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's the biggest party, and you guys are invited. But sometimes we get a little delusional about where we are. I mean, we just had the best regular season we ever had, but we still finished 10-3. We've done that before, and our fans. We get on there, and we start talking about Lane this, Lane that, Jeff Levy this, Jeff Levy that. I mean, and like you guys said a while ago, Jeff Levy could be the coach right now. If Brent Venables could not work out at Oklahoma. If Brent Venables works out at Oklahoma, it's because he left Jeff Levy the hell alone and let that offense run, and Jeff Levy becomes the head coach one day. Because the defense is going to be solid. You can bet your ass the defense is going to be solid. They're going to recruit the players because Brent Venables, whether anybody wants to believe it or not, kind of, made Dabo into, this hot commodity. I mean, with those defenses that he had, I mean, if Brent Venables isn't over there, they're not shutting down Alabama the way they did. I mean, they're not winning national titles. I mean, Dabo's a great coach. I love Dabo. He's funny as hell. But we need to embrace what we are. I mean, and just don't always get your hopes up and then just get so pissed off when it doesn't go that way, right? I mean, we build ourselves up to be better than what we are, and I want us to be greater and greater and greater, and everybody stays so worried about Lane leaving. Well, if Lane leaves, it's because he's done a good job, because Lane ain't really, I mean, the only thing he's proved is that he can win. Well, hell, duh. Everybody knows that. I mean, when has the guy lost? I mean, he didn't get fired from USC for losing. He got fired from USC because he didn't live up to their high standards. So are we going to set those for our administration? Are we going to set USC high standards? You know, this big-time program that's got all these national championships and, you know, you got all this and that. Are we going to set ourselves up there with those guys who think they're still there, you know, and then run a coach off or fire him one day because, you know, we're not there? I mean, what has USC done since Lane left?
I mean, I guess the juxtaposition to that is that, I mean, but you did just go 10-2. I mean, if you want to, if Matt Corral stays healthy, you're probably ranked 5th in the country this week. And, man,
right.
And again, Ole Miss, look, they're never going to, never's a big word, but they're likely not to do it year over year over year over year. But no, I mean, I think the expectation of making a playoff is not out of the realm of possibility.
Of course not. You just did it.
Yeah. Once you get in,
I mean,
it's kind of like making the tournament.
When it goes to 12, we're going to make a playoff.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
100%.
I mean,
why not?
Are you going to win it?
I don't know.
Yeah, get in it.
One of my best friends is Dan Jennings, who's the assistant general manager for the
name dropping like hell over here.
He is assistant general manager for the Washington Nationals. Used to work for the Florida Marlins when they won a couple of championships, and his phrase was always the same: make the tournament.
Make the tournament. But as Ole Miss fans, I mean, dude, Andy Kennedy was the best basketball coach we've ever had at this damn school. We've had a losing record, a losing overall history record when Andy Kennedy took over the program. These people wanted to murder Andy Kennedy at the end of his career. They couldn't wait for him to get out of here. And what have we done since? I mean, that's what I'm saying. If we get into the playoffs, that's my real worry. Because they're going to be trying to run coaches off because they're not winning the title next.
Hey, Tommy.
I mean, sometimes making it to the dance is great.
Yeah, well, you want to go to the dance, right? I mean, you don't go to the dance.
You want to get to the dance.
You don't get to dance if you don't go to the dance.
To that next level every time. And I know it pisses people off, but we do. We build ourselves up. I mean, the year after we won the Sugar Bowl, everybody was screaming Hugh Freeze is going to win the national championship. And you went 5-7.
Yeah, it's different. I think you can win consistently at Ole Miss. I do.
Hey, I do believe that. I mean, you can, but we have to be.
A combination of Ed Orgeron and Houston Nutt would have had a shot at the national title in 2008 because they were hot as hell at the end of that season.
Yes, they were.
I'm not saying they were going to win it, but they would have been a problem for everybody at the end of that year.
If there was a 12-team playoff in 2008,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think Ole Miss does win the national title.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah, there will be. So you get in the tournament and you see what happens.
If there was a 12-team playoff in 2015, that'd have been interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the call, Tommy.
All right, buddy. I'll see y'all later.
I get so nervous every time the call hangs up. We appeared to survive that one.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Hey, who do we have?
Holy crap, I'm on. How are you guys tonight?
Good. Who's this?
I'm good. So I got two questions. One for Chase and one for Chase and Neal.
Hey, give me a name. Give me a name first.
Mark from D.C. I've called probably 10 times.
Gotcha. Okay.
Awesome. So, Chase, when are you doing the Marvels podcast?
It's a good question. I don't know if it is just as soon as I'm as caught up on movies as I can be, or if I knock out like WandaVision first. Because there's three. I think I'm going to watch WandaVision, probably Loki, and then maybe Agent Carter. But I don't know. I probably will do the podcast as soon as the movies are over, with the exception of throwing WandaVision in there. But I'm not sure. I mean, I've got Endgame next, and then whatever's in Phase 4.
Okay, so have you seen the new Spider-Man movie?
No, because I'm not. I literally, when I say I had nothing going into this, I had never seen a second of a single Marvel movie. So no, I've only seen what is to the point of Endgame at this point.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you need to watch the new Spider-Man movie. It's really good, and it's kind of. Have you seen it like the Tobey Maguire and the other guys Spider-Man movies?
I watched the very first one, the Kirsten Dunst, Tobey Maguire one. I don't know that I've never seen one with Andrew Garfield.
Okay, well, they're all really good. Anyway, so more serious question. Gun to your head, who is the starting quarterback for Ole Miss next year?
This was the one for both of us.
Yes, it is.
I'm just under 50% for Caleb Williams, so I'm going to go Luke Altmaier. But I had to think about it for a minute. But I'm just not ready to go there yet.
Yeah, I'm like 45-55 on the Caleb Williams thing. I mean, if you put the gun to my head and said you have to say it, I'd say no, but I wouldn't be very comfortable, which should tell you something, because a day ago I'd have been like, oh, for God's sake. I guess I'd bet Altmaier, but I wouldn't feel very confident.
Okay, let me ask this question. What is the win total with each quarterback?
I mean, with Caleb Williams, the sky's kind of the limit, really. I mean, you could win a whole bunch of games. With Luke, he'd be a true sophomore getting his first starts. So you'd have the growing.
But how good is Caleb Williams? He played in the Big 12 with average defenses. He has no experience in the SEC.
He's really good. He was the 6th ranked player in the country coming out of high school. He was a 5-star with offers from everyone. He's really good. He's a top 5 pick in the NFL draft in 2 years. He's
honestly,
really good.
I would take Williams over Altmaier, me personally, but I mean, I've seen Altmaier a lot more than what I've seen out of Williams. But I mean, Williams didn't do that great against Benner's defense, and Altmaier was kind of a little bit better, maybe.
I got to tell you, listen. I mean, this is. I mean, no offense when I say this, Mark, but if we're building teams and you want to start with Altmaier next season and give me Caleb Williams, I'm going to like my chances.
Oh, I'm with you. I was playing devil's advocate on that.
Yeah, I mean,
100% with you. I would totally take Caleb Williams over Altmaier.
And Luke might end up being a great player. I'm just telling. Caleb Williams is a great player. I mean, Caleb Williams was. I mean, he got hurt against Baylor, but he's legit. And he makes plays. I mean, he's again. I mean, I quoted Eric.
So what are the odds that we get him?
I mean, we just got through saying that. I mean, I think both of us think it's a little less than a coin toss. But you have to go for it. I mean,
I would take that. Yeah, I would take that.
You go for it. If you don't get him, you move on from there. But if you have an opportunity, you got to go all in on it. And Ole Miss, from all indications, has.
So in your opinion, is it NIL related, or is it I want to get to the NFL?
Yes, it's NIL. It's NIL and
then NFL.
But I mean, he can go to look. He could. I mean, what was the dude? Charlie Batch.
Yeah,
offered him. Let's just say for kicks and giggles that he took Charlie Batch up on his offer and went to Eastern Michigan.
He'd still go to the league.
He'd still go to the NFL. I mean, he's an NFL player. He'd go to. I mean, I make ULM jokes all the time, but if he went to ULM and lit up the Sun Belt, he'd go to the NFL. The NFL doesn't care where you play.
That's true.
They don't care at all. None. Zero. Zip.
I mean, an example. Look at Demario Davis. He's an All-Pro NFL linebacker for the Saints, for Arkansas State.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, the reason that kids go to Alabama so much is because Alabama produces so many first and second round NFL picks. That's why they go. That's their wholesale.
Anyway,
that's their whole sales pitch.
I got you. Anyway, y'all guys have a good night. I love the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all love the show. Have a good night.
Thanks.
I think I fixed it, but hang on.
Saved it again?
Yeah, I think so. We'll try to answer this call. Hey, caller, hang on. Let me make sure that we're good. Hold on. Are we back? Okay. Hey, caller, who do we have?
Hey guys, it's Bob and Reb.
Hey, Bobbin, what's up, man?
Nothing much. Y'all haven't been busy at all this week, huh? Y'all have had a pretty laid back week since football season's over.
Yeah, we kind of took the week off and just kind of chilled after the Sugar Bowl stuff. Just been.
I'm watching Marvel. Neal's putting some puzzles put together.
Yeah, I've just chilled, kind of.
Haven't touched your phones at all. I've just been chilling with the family.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No phone calls really.
You guys did name drop my hometown today, by the way. I thought that was funny.
Oh, Picayune?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
but
yeah.
Chase, I don't think you're pronouncing it wrong. I mean, that's how a lot of people pronounce it, but like the A is almost kind of silent.
It's kind of
like
Picayune.
Okay.
Yep. There
That's
you
fine.
go.
All right.
It's more like Coach Saban. This is Vibin from Picayune. Are you still there, Coach? Eli's Coach Saban still there?
He's here.
Coach, I just want to tell you, we love you, and wish you'd throw to the tight end more, but we love you, and that's all. Bye. I love you. They're one of the impressions I did the best I could.
How's the is it Bessemer or Bessemer?
It's Bessemer.
Alabama.
Bessemer. It is Bessemer, but it's just Bessemer.
Yeah, that's about like how Picayune is, but people get it wrong all the time. I'm like, yeah, don't sweat it. It's not worth knowing how to pronounce it right. But I did want to ask y'all, Matt Corral, what's his ceiling in the NFL?
A more talented Baker Mayfield.
Oh God. Because I'm sitting here trying to tell all my friends, and I was like, if he's there when the Saints draft or pick.
Well, you would take a more talented Baker.
Yeah. I mean, Baker took his team to the playoffs.
I mean, Matt Corral with Sean Payton, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, but what you don't know with Matt yet, and it's not a knock on Matt, it's just the truth. It is you don't know how he does with this transition to, you know, how long does it take for him to pick up the pace of a 3 and 4 read offense? You know, can he become smarter and more? Can he become smarter about the way that he handles his body running the football? He's got to be smarter about that. Can he? Matt's one of those guys that one of his greatest traits is also one of his biggest weaknesses, and that is he's so damn competitive.
He can't be taking 10, 15 hits a game trying to run the ball.
No. Can't take 3 hits a game running the ball. I mean, he's got to stop.
Yeah.
He's got to stop. I mean, like the play before he got hurt in the Sugar Bowl was a dumb play on his part. I mean, he's got to stop that. And NFL people are going to tell him that. And look, I think he's going to do great. But, you know, I mean, when you say what's his ceiling, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess to some degree you could make a Russell Wilson comparison because of the big arm. But, you know, it's going to take him a minute. It's going to depend on where he goes and his ability to learn and acclimate and all of those things. Like Zach Wilson has all the talent in the world, and this rookie year was a struggle. And then you see a guy like Burrow in Cincinnati who, I mean, he obviously is – his ceiling is perennial MVP candidate.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. I think Burrow's going to be top 5 here in a year or two. I think he's got everything. I really do.
So does Neal.
Another one, speaking of a dude I think is going to go to the combine and absolutely make himself millions and millions of dollars, is Sam Williams.
Good. Yeah, I mean – Sam's probably going to pay a little bit of a price in the NFL, just the way that league's wired for some of the stuff that happened earlier in his career. But
he's repaired as much as he can.
He's repaired it where Sam's one of those guys that his second contract in the league could be a monster.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, hell, I didn't even know Marquise Haynes was still in the league. He's still just chilling in Carolina. And I mean,
Yeah,
I
he's
think
hung around.
Sam
He has an elite
more
skill.
talented than Marquise.
Marquise has one elite skill, and that's
That'll keep you around
rushing
for a
the
minute.
passer, and that'll keep you around for a while.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, guys, appreciate y'all taking my call.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Just one of those deals. I think it's back, but man, it's crazy. It hates me.
It's back, but
It hates me tonight. I don't know what that is. Obviously, it's reset the whole thing, but I did do that today. It's a Skype eCam interface.
they don't like one another.
And I've read about it a little bit on some of the eCam Facebook groups and stuff. I'm not the only person that
Has run into this issue.
battles this. They just don't like each other, and sometimes they run the updates and stuff, and they're just not crazy about one another. How much bigger is Matt than Manziel? Bigger than Johnny.
Yeah. A little thicker than Johnny.
He's in a better place in his life. Manziel would have been a good NFL quarterback if he had kind of control of some demons. He just didn't.
Yeah, Basilite went to Indiana. Saw that today.
Boy.
That's not going to fix it for Tom Allen.
I mean, Big Ten's slower, but it ain't that much slower. I would have thought Basilite would be a better quarterback than he was.
He had a pretty decent freshman year, and then it just fell apart.
He had a moment, yeah, and then it just fell apart. All right, appreciate everybody being with us. Sorry about some of the technical issues. Thanks to everybody who super chatted. I know we missed a couple of those, but really appreciate it. We'll have this up in podcast form tomorrow in the Oxford Exxon podcast. Ole Miss, Mississippi State basketball Saturday night. Did we mention the women won today?
They beat Florida 74-56, I believe, was the final of that.
Yeah, so a big SEC win for them.
13th straight win overall.
Yeah. They lost the opener to Belmont, and they have not lost since.
That's correct.
Had a kind of a layoff but from the COVID stuff. But Ole Miss, Mississippi State on Saturday night at 7:30, and obviously we're following Caleb Williams. I don't anticipate
He's taking his time, so
I don't anticipate resolution like this weekend, but
which means it'll probably happen tomorrow morning at 7:30.
It probably will, and if it does, then that would be one that would probably garner an emergency podcast. We would throw something together.
If he picked Ole Miss,
yeah.
If he picks LSU, we go now.
No, we'll pass. But we'll keep an eye on that, on some recruiting stuff. It is a dead period. I guess we are watching for Davison Igbonason at some point. He can't play in the game because he tested positive for COVID. So, but I'm wondering if his announcement will come in the game.
No idea.
So everybody stay safe. Thanks for making us a part of your night, of your weekend. Appreciate all the calls. For Chase, I'm Neal. Talk to you soon.